those problems, beautifully embodied in the person of Ambassador Andrew Young, who had a distinguished record at the United Nations. Equally so, I have a tremendous amount of respect for those who look at all that absurdity and discord in the world and say, you know what, I can't solve it, I'm going to make comedy out of it instead.
Good. I think I'm going to make fun of it.
And Ambassador Young is letting me know that he has given permission to Mike Reiss to roast him or make any jokes at his expense as well. So, with that in mind, I do want to introduce Mr. Mike Reiss. I met Mike about a year and a half ago at a speech he was giving at the People's Improv Theater. And I am, as my parents brother can rightfully attest, a crazed Simpsons fan. I mean, The Simpsons has defined my sense of humor more than any other program in the history of anything ever. And Mike is responsible for giving me and a whole generation of young people the gift of cynicism. So thank you for that, Mike. Mike is one of the original writers for The Simpsons, continues to write for the show. He served as showrunner in seasons 3 and 4. He and his good friend Al Jean, another genius, created the show The Critic. Mike has written for The Simpsons movie, 4 Ice Age movies, 5 Ice Age movies. And Mike, part of how he and I became good friends is that Mike is an Iranophile. Mike has been to Iran, surprisingly so. And he and his wife Denise have in fact been to 75, 80 countries. I mean, an enormous amount of countries. They're huge world travelers. I just found him to be such a funny, intelligent, enjoyable person to spend time with, and I really enjoyed getting to know him and his wife over the past year. And so I wanted to invite him. I'll actually share this as well. I should mention this. When Dr. Amir Ahmadi and I went down to Atlanta to meet Mr. Michael Varzi, Mrs. Afruz Varzi, and Ambassador Andrew Young, we were at a meeting at the Ritz-Carlton in Buckhead, Atlanta, and we're walking to our meeting, and I just see all of a sudden Denise Reiss walk right by me. Now, they live in New York. What were the chances that we would run into them into the Buckhead Ritz-Carlton? But we did. I mean, they're, as you like to say, I think you have a saying that explains this, which is coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. So that helped bring this all together. And as a result of that coincidence meeting, I've invited Mike to come up and share a few words. Mr. Mike Reiss.
Thank you. Thanks for stopping. That's it. I don't need applause. 2 minutes ago, none of you had ever heard of me. And that's fine. I know it too. I said to Kayvon, I said, if I've got to talk after Andrew Young, can you have someone less famous talk after me? And Kayvon said, there is nobody less famous than you. He said, you're being followed by salad. People have heard of salad. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, this is not easy for me to follow Andrew Young, to speak to such a distinguished group of people for free. I don't do things for free. I'm Jewish, and well, you laughed a little too hard at that. I am Jewish, and I want to start off by saying something you hear New York Jews say all the time. I love Iran. I love Iran, and let me tell you how I got there. Every year my wife and I take a vacation, and every year I offer her a wide range of possibilities. Everything from Disneyland to Disney World. And she comes back at me with ideas. Let's go to Syria. Let's go to Ukraine. Let's go to North Korea. Because her idea of a vacation is my idea of a hostage situation. And so one year, she said to me, we should go to Iran. And I said to her what every husband says when his wife has a terrible idea. I said, good idea. And we went to Iran. Now right away, every American I ever tell this story to goes, how do you even go to Iran? And the answer is, it's easy to get to Iran. It's just nobody wants to visit. It's like Staten Island. And so So we go to Tehran, and I gotta say, my first day there, I'm scared to death. And the tour guide says to me, "What do you do for a living?" Well, how do you explain The Simpsons to someone who's never left Tehran, you know? Do they have cartoons in Iran? Do they even have TV? So I said to him, well, I write for this TV show called The Simpsons. And he said to me, you know, I really like the early seasons. It's a true story. And that's how I learned how cosmopolitan the people in Tehran are. They are like Parisians with manners. And it wasn't that good, but we want our countries to love each other, and we all hate the French. So, and I mean, I was so comfortable in Tehran because Tehran is just like Los Angeles, except Los Angeles has more Iranians. And so after Tehran, we went to Isfahan and Shiraz. We went to Yazd, Bam, Boom, Bing. Iranians seem to get the names of their cities from Batman fight scenes. So, all in all, we spent 18 days in Iran, and every Iranian I've ever met, I've told that to, they go, 18 days? That's too long. But we loved it. And now I have to go off on a crazy tangent here. I once worked on one of the worst animated films of all time. It was called Yankee Irving, and I worked 4 years on this movie, and thanks to me, I was able to raise the quality of this film from deplorable to merely horrible. Yankee Irving came out in America, nobody saw it. It came out in Europe, nobody saw it. The director of the film died before the movie came out, so even he didn't have to see it. Then I go to Iran, and in every city, and in every town, I swear to God, every city, every town, every shop, every Medina was selling DVDs of Yankee Irving. One day we climbed a mountain, and at the top of the mountain was a cave, and we went to the back of the cave, and in the back of the cave was an old man with a wooden table selling two things: copies of the Quran and Yankee Irving. I think Yankee Irving is the reason there is stress between our two countries. And I won't lie, I won't ignore that. While we were in Iran, the political leaders were saying a lot of crazy stuff, and there were people preaching this ugly mix of politics and religion and hatred. And I said to my wife, why did we come here? I can get all this in America. But I think that's something that brings us together, is the fact that even the angriest mullah in the Middle East looks at Sarah Palin and goes, that chick is crazy. That's something that unites us. I think that's a bond we can build a bridge together from. So I think that's what the whole evening is about. So I hope tonight you will all give very generously to this cause, whatever the hell it is. I don't want to sound paranoid, but AIC is just CIA backwards. Anyway, so that's it. This evening is anyway, so this is an evening for you to donate money and to help out a cause that means so much. And for me, this evening is a free dinner. And which brings me to my final story. My wife and I visited the city of Mashhad during the festival of Imam Hussein, and we were there, and strangers invited us into their home. They didn't speak English. They fed us dinner. And as we were leaving, they gave us 2 more dinners to go. And I'm walking through the streets with these dinners, and people kept handing me more dinners. And there was a point where I was holding more dinners than a man could possibly carry, and yet still the people in the streets wanted to give me more, wanted to give more dinners to me, a foreigner, a stranger, an American, a Jew. So that was 8 years ago, and now I am really excited and dying to go back to Iran because I'm finally out of leftovers. Thank you all.
Andrew Young's looking for a high five, Mike.
Mike?
You missed, you left him hanging.
I can't
You left him hanging.